Well, I grew up in Ripon.
Okay.
And I have three sisters. My mother's still alive. My dad passed away about 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I got into gardening because of my dad, mostly.
Hi, I'm Brooke Moeller, and I'm a master gardener in Placer County. Thanks for joining me for another garden adventure. Today we're at the home of Kim Evans in Granite Bay. Kim has 5 acres here, and she has a very large organic vegetable garden, and she has animals like dogs and chickens. She tends this property mostly by herself. She starts her seeds from scratch in the greenhouse, and she does all the planting and irrigation management. So let's go see what's happening in Kim's garden. Hey Kim, good morning.
Good morning, Brooke.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thanks so much for having us out this morning.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I'm glad you came.
Thanks. Well, we wanted to talk a little bit about your garden and about you.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I grew up in Ripon.
Okay.
And I have 3 sisters. My mother's still alive. My dad passed away about 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I got into gardening because of my dad, mostly. I remember growing up, we had a community garden.
Okay.
There was about 3 or 4 families of us that we had a garden, and we all, participated. I didn't do much work at that time. I liked to play in the little hut we had. But that was kind of a spark for me. And then after my dad retired, he got into growing tomatoes.
Okay.
And so he would grow like 1,000 plants of tomatoes. And then he would go sell them on the roadside. So every year now, in my garden, I grow ace tomatoes.
Okay.
Because that's what he grew.
Okay.
And so that's one of my favorite things.
Okay.
I love to watch the tomatoes grow because it just, makes me feel closer to Dad.
Yeah, that's nice.
And, my mom has been inspiration. She has a green thumb too.
Okay.
So she's got all kinds of plants. So, I think it just kind of runs in her family.
So gardening was part of the family.
Yeah.
And now you're a grandma.
Yes, I am.
And
I have 8 grandchildren, another one on the way.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Do they help you in the garden?
When they come over, yes. There's a lot of things I have in the garden that I do because of them.
Okay.
So, cucamelons.
What are those?
So it's a kind of like a cucumber fruit, but
Okay.
it looks like a watermelon once it grows.
Okay.
And they're only about this big.
Uh-huh.
So they're little, but they like them. They're tiny. They're right at their hands, and they can pick those.
That's nice.
So I do that, and I do strawberries at when they're around. I
In
do
season.
those. But yeah, the kids come out. They love to water
Okay.
for 5 seconds, but they want to pick everything.
Okay.
And they really enjoy coming out, and that's one reason why I do it too.
So it's a really large property, and I'm wondering about with your vegetable garden. Well, first of all, how did you decide what to do with all of it? I mean, just this part, the vegetable garden over here, these beautiful flowers in your courtyard. How did you decide what to do with it?
Well, after we got done doing the horses,
Uh-huh.
because we used to do horses here, board them and train them, I had all the paddocks over there empty.
Okay.
And I'm like, what am I going to do with that? So I started a little garden. Started in one, and the next year it grew into the 2 of them, and the next year it's 3 of them, and now it's pretty much the whole space. So I just kind of keep that area out there, and the rest of, around the house and everything, I just try to do, just my annuals and perennials and just more that way.
More the scented parts.
Yeah, whatever I can keep the dogs out of. They're not very friendly for my flowers.
No. So with your veggie garden, I mean, since there's so much going on there, how do you decide what you're going to do and when to do it?
Well, I actually rely on the calendar, our Master Gardener calendar, because it's got, each month tells you, okay, you should do this, you should do that, you should fertilize, you should trim it, you should pick it, when you should separate things, and, so I use it for the whole area.
Yeah, it has more
telling
than just the vegetables.
Yeah, it has way more than just the vegetables. It has the fruit trees, it has when you separate your bulbs, when you should fertilize your roses, you know. So
it's handy, isn't it?
I really kind of go by what that tells me. Now, do I do it every time?
No, we don't necessarily.
But I look and I say, okay, I should do this.
It's a built-in to-do list.
Yes, yes.
I know, I like mine for that too.
Yeah.
I try not to feel too guilty about when I don't do it.
Yeah.
So over all the years, you must have had some events come up or outcomes that you weren't expecting. Do you have any funny garden stories?
Well, I realized that I was missing, my peppers kept missing. And I'm like, what's going on with my peppers? Why? You know, because I kind of, you know, keep track of them and I could see. Well, one morning I got up and the dogs were out before I got out there. And my Thor, my oldest shepherd, was out there eating my peppers right off the plant. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh no. Because they're not allowed in the garden.
No.
When I'm out there, they are not allowed in the garden. But he
got
apparently
in.
It wasn't a deer, it was my dog eating my peppers, the jalapenos.
My gosh.
Yes, he will eat anything. It's quite funny what he does. So,
oh, Thor, you naughty dog.
Yes, yes.
What are your goals? What do you want to do next in the garden?
I will be planting a lavender garden.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
I have an area that I have big rocks that are not coming out.
Okay.
You know, up in the top area. And it's kind of on a slope, so it makes it a little harder to actually garden.
Yes.
You know, so my plan is to make it lavender garden with maybe some sage and, you know, some different things up there.
Maybe some iris too.
Yeah, maybe.
So you can put them in through the rocks. That'd be pretty.
Yeah. So
yeah,
just do something kind of like that. I try to add something every year.
Yeah.
You know.
Including your little green bean house.
Yes, my green bean house.
I like
yes.
that. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Last year I put in the wishing well.
Yes.
Yeah. It was literally an actual well, that's what we think, was under it.
Okay.
And so I thought, hey, what a perfect place to put a wishing well. It doesn't produce water, but hey,
it looks good.
So.
And can you think of any of your favorite memories out there in that garden? Or, you know, any part in your garden, because you have so much going on here.
You know, I would have to say I just love when the grandkids come.
Yeah.
Because Caden, he's my oldest.
Okay.
He loves to pick the flowers and make a bouquet.
Oh,
you know.
Okay.
So I just like the tenderness that he has, and he wants to, you know, I want to make a flower bouquet, you know.
Oh, that's
nice. And so I like that, and they love to just help, do whatever
Okay.
they can.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So, you know, my memories are just looking at the beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
wonderful. I love the fact that you're passing on your passion
Yeah.
to the next generation. Well, actually the second generation
Right?
now, right?
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks so much for letting us come over and visit today, and let's go take a look at your garden.
All right.
All right.
Go.
All right, let's
All
go.
right, let's go.
Now, are these ace tomatoes you were talking about?
Yes, these 4 plants that are right here in this area, these are the ace tomatoes that I plant in memory of my father, because that's what he did, so that's what I do.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And those look like they're going to get pretty big.
Sometimes they do get pretty large. This year they're taking their own sweet time. You know, I think that with the weather has been kind of crazy for everything this year. Tomatoes have been, to me, kind of slow, but once they start, they don't stop.
Do you do canning too?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've made tomato sauce and salsa, and I do green beans, pickles. Yeah, I made zucchini relish this year. So yeah,
That's fun.
I do it. Might as well put everything to good use.
Yeah. cherries.
Yeah, I got the grandkids again. One of those things the kids love to just come out and pick, and they eat them or they carry them. Oh my gosh, look at all these! So that's just I don't use them all that much, but they love them. So
They're good for salads.
Yeah, they are for that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to pick them and just eat them right here.
We're coming into the zucchini, and you're going to talk to us a little bit why you have them all staked up like this. This is really interesting.
Yeah, well, I like to look at different things all the time, and so I find different ways to do things, and I try and I test and I do things. So if you look, zucchini only grows at the top.
Right.
So once these leaves have been exhausted and used, you can cut them off and help to put more energy towards the top of the plant.
Right.
And so I saw this where they, tied them to the post and grew them up, and I just really like the look of it. And it stays cleaner. They're off the ground. I don't have to worry about snakes under them.
Yep.
So that's why I do that.
And they take a lot less room than
They
when
do. I
they're
could put
over
'em-
on the side.
Yeah, because another testing, I just
Yeah.
put these out and just let them grow like normal. And they take up more room. They're a little messier looking. Things can be under there. They're on the ground, the bugs,
Yeah.
So for me, I like it this way.
I think it looks really
Yeah.
cool.
I like it. Adds a little bit more to the garden.
It does.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to the green bean house.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That's new this year, right?
Yes, it is. So it's another thing I found online, Pinterest or someplace, and because the pole beans need something to grow on.
Okay.
So I came up with this little idea.
And did you build it yourself?
I built it myself, yes,
such a
out
clever
of our
girl.
reclaimed wood from our fences that came out of the paddocks. So I cut them down into 2x2 pieces of wood, and then I built it. And the good thing about this, what I like is, here, I'll show you right here, there's a clamp, see here?
Right.
So each wall is built individual. So at the end of the season, when I'm done with it, I just take the clamps out, and then I can fold it up and put it away. And then bring it back out if or put it somewhere else. So,
Make a new sign.
yes. Oh, yes. My daughter helped me make that sign. So, and then I keep the birds happy in there. The water's in there because if it sits out, it gets super hot.
Yes.
So that helps keep it cooler.
Well, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time. It's been so much fun. And I'm looking forward to taking home some cantaloupe.
Oh, yes. I got lots of cantaloupe
All
to
right.
take home.
Thanks,
So,
Kim.
Thank you very much for
Take
coming.
care.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for coming with us on our garden adventure.